Hey everyone, and welcome to today's daily yoga flow. Today's flow is specifically been designed for those of us just to keep our daily habit going, as well as for those of us who are looking to go a little bit more deeper into our practice. So to begin, we'll start off in a child's pose. So we'll have our big toes touching and our knees either as wide as the mat or maybe a little bit closer if needed. And we're just going to sink our chest and our forehead all the way down to the mat with our forehead on the mat as we just hold this pose for a few breaths as we settle in and prepare for our practice. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, feeling your lungs and your chest expand as we relax and sigh it out through the mouth. Another deep breath in and an audible sigh out. We're then going to shift our weight to the left side of the mat, placing our left hand just outside the mat and our right hand on top of our left as we feel a nice little lengthening going on in our right ribs. Once more, focusing on your breath as we take some nice deep inhales and relaxing exhales. Then shifting our weight over to the right, placing our right hand outside the mat, left hand on top of right. You feel a nice little juicy stretch going on in the left. Come back to center. We're going to push our upper bodies forward, lifting it up as we come into on all fours with our shoulders over our wrists, hips over our knees. We're just going to go into some nice big circular motions over our wrists just to get them nice and warmed up. So we go in the one direction, painting some nice big circles over our hands. And we can change over in the other, really exaggerating the movement as much as you can. And you can come back to a neutral position. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into a cat-cow. But what we're going to do is we're going to tuck our back toes and just hover our knees just a few inches off the mat. And we're going to hold it there, really engaging our legs and our core. As we take a deep inhale, dipping our base, lifting our chin up. And then as we exhale, bringing chin to chest, rounding our backs out. Keeping our knees off the mat. We take another inhale, dipping our bellies. And exhale to round our backs. Going to 2 more rounds. Inhale, cow. And exhale for cat. One last round. Inhale. And exhale. And with that, you can plant your knees back down to the mat. And we're then going to extend our right leg out, keeping it nice and straight. And we're going to hover it up, lifting it up to this level of our spine. And then placing the weight onto our right hand We're going to lift our left hand up, reaching out as far forward as we can, making a nice line between our fingertips all the way to our toes. Take a deep inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to crunch our bellies, bring elbow to knee. Inhale to extend, and exhale to contract. One more time. Inhale to extend, and exhale to contract. And then as you extend your arm and your leg out, you're going to bend your leg and reach your arm back, grabbing your foot. And then when you're going to kick your leg out, really rounding out your spine, feeling your legs get engaged. As you hold here for a breath. And then you can just release, placing hand and knee back down. We move on to the other side. So left leg extending out and lifting up in line with your spine. And then placing the weights onto your left hand, reaching up with your right. So take an inhale. And as we exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend. And exhale to crunch. Going through one last round. Inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, extending out and then bending your back leg, reaching back with your right hand, grabbing your left foot. And then once you've got a nice hold, kicking your leg back, really arching your back as much as you can, holding for a breath before releasing and bringing your legs, your hands back down. And from here, we're going to lift our right leg up, keeping our leg nice and bent, and we're going to paint some nice big circles with our knee as we get a nice little hip warm up going in the one direction before changing over in the other. And then we're going to place our right foot just on the outside of our right hand, and we can shift our back leg just a little bit back as we come into our passive lizard. And you can either hold the lizard as is right now, or you can maybe just let your right foot roll over the pinky toe, extending it out to get a nice little deeper stretch. And then bringing your back knee back up, we're going to heel to our right foot just to the center of the mat in between our hands. And then we're going to lift our chest up, raising our hands above our head, coming into a low lunge. And if you can, or if you want to, you can bend your elbows down in a cactus position. Maybe have a nice little gentle back bend as you lean just a little bit back. As you just focus on your breath and breathe into the pose. Coming back up straight, we're going to place our left hand right next to our right foot. And we're going to raise our right hand up above our heads as we twist our bodies to the right, coming into an easy twist. Then bring our right hand down, lifting our back knee. And kick our right leg back, coming into our high plank. And from here you can either keep your legs straight or you can keep them on the ground as we lower and chaturanga down, bringing our bellies down to mat, and then placing our forearms down to the mat, lifting our chest up, opening our shoulders out as we come into a sphinx for an inhale, and then for our exhale, placing hands back below our shoulders, tucking our toes as we lift back into our downward facing dog. And then from our down dog, we can just shift our bodies forward, placing our knees back down to the mat. We can move on to the other side, lifting our left leg up, keeping it bent, like we're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And just painting some nice big circles in the one direction. And then changing over in the other. And then finally we can place our left foot onto right next to our left pinky toe. And then keeping our right knee grounded, we can just hold here for our lizard stretch. Once more, you can either keep your left foot grounded, or you can roll over your left pinky toe, stretching it out. You feel a nice stretch going on in your hips. Bring your left knee back, heel toeing your left foot to the center between your hands. We're going to lift our chest up, raising our hands above our head for a low lunge. And then cactusing our arms out to the side. Let's give ourselves a nice little gentle back bend. Coming back up straight, right hand down to mat, left hand reaching up for the sky as we open up to the left for our twist. Then left hand down to mat, lifting our back knee, kicking back into a plank, and once more you can either keep your knees off the ground or you can lower them down for a modification. As we exhale to lower down to our bellies. Inhale to either come into a sphinx or we can keep our shoulders below our hands below our shoulders. So we lift our chest up for a cobra. Before exhaling, tucking our back toes, lifting our hips up and pushing back into our downward facing dog. In our down dog, we're going to start with our right leg, kicking it up nice and high, keeping our hips square, legs straight. And then as we exhale, bringing our right foot forward, placing it between our hands. And keeping our back knee off the mat as we raise our chest and our arms up above our head, coming into a high crescent lunge. Hips nice and square, knee over heel. And you take some nice deep breaths in the pose. Then twisting to the left, we're going to bring our back heel down, left toes pointing to the side. We're going to open our arms out, making a nice straight line, shoulders pull back, as we come into our warrior two. Then flipping our front palm, we're going to throw it over our head. And with our left hand, we can either bring it down to our left leg, Or we can wrap it in a half bind behind our back and see if we can maybe touch our right thigh. And with our right hand reaching it back as far as you can for a reverse warrior. Then come back up straight, meeting me in a warrior 2. We're going to straighten our front leg, but we're going to heel toe our back foot just a little bit forward and have our toes pointing to the front. With our hips nice and square, legs nice and straight, keeping our shoulders back, spine nice and straight, we're just going to hinge forward, bring our upper body as close to our front leg as we can, coming into a pyramid pose. And then from your pyramid, you can bend your front leg just slightly as we lighten our back foot off the mat and then float it up, and lifting it up, coming into a T shape for Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. You can either keep your hands at heart center, behind your back, or out in front of you, whichever feels most comfortable. And then slowly lowering your back foot down, bringing hands down to mat, kicking our right leg back into a high plank. And once more, going through our vinyasa, we just gently bend our elbows, chaturanga down. Inhale for your back bend of choice, either cobra, or maybe you can lift your hips off the mat for an upward facing dog. And then exhaling, tucking your toes, lifting hips up, and coming into your downward facing dog. Moving on to the left side, left leg going up nice and high for your three-legged dog, keeping that leg straight. And then exhaling, foot between your hands, as you raise your hands up, coming into your high crescent lunge. Engaging your core, helping with your balance. And then twisting your body to the right, left hand forward, right hand back, as we come into our warrior 2. Flipping your front palm, throwing it over your head to reverse your warrior, and with your back hand either down to thigh or doing a half bind. And coming back up straight into your warrior 2, straightening your front leg and heel toeing your back foot just a little bit forward before pointing all 10 toes to the front, hands behind your back. So you take a nice deep inhale, shoulders pulled back, spine nice and straight, and then hinging over your hips as you bring your chest as close to your front leg as you can, and just hold and breathe. Then relaxing your arms, giving a nice little gentle bend in your front leg. As you float your right leg up, bring it in line with your upper body, coming to a nice T shape for your warrior 3. Finding a spot in front of you just to focus on to help with your balance. And then nice and controlled, bending your front leg, lowering your back leg. As you bring your hands down to the mat, kicking back into your plank, and once more going through your flow. Remembering to link your movements with your breath. And from your down dog, you can just walk your feet slowly towards the top of the mat, meeting me in a forward fold. You're just going to hang here for a few breaths, maybe just swaying from side to side, as we just let gravity do all the work for us. And then you're going to meet me in stillness. We're going to take a deep inhale, lifting our chest halfway, bringing your hands either to shins or to thighs, keeping your back nice and straight, before exhaling, folding back forward. And then you're going to stay in your forward fold. You're just going to shift towards the side of the mat and open your hips a little bit wider, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. We're just going to shift our weight over to the right, folding our upper bodies over our right leg, and seeing if maybe we can grab our right ankle with our left hand. And then pushing our hip over to the right, we're going to bend our right leg, dropping our hips all the way down, and with our left leg you might want to turn your heel, lifting your toes up, and if it's a little bit too intense for you, you can just lift your right heel up as we sink our hips down into a side lunge skandasana. If you guys have the balance and you can keep your heel all the way grounded, you can either keep your hands out in front of you just to help with the balance, or if you can, bring your hands to heart center. And then from here, you can twist your left foot down, and if you're able to, you can just push up off of your heel to lift your hips up. If not, using your hands to come up straight back into your wide-legged forward fold. And from here, we can shift over to the left, body over left thigh, right hand onto left ankle. Then bending your left leg, twisting your right foot, lifting your toes up as we sink our hips down to our left ankle, keeping it either grounded or lifting if needed, as we come into our second half of the stretch. And then once more, placing your hands down to the ground to assist you coming up, or if you can, pushing off of your heel, lifting your hips up, back into your forward fold. And then from here, you can just heel toe your feet a little bit closer together before sinking your hips all the way down, coming into a Malasana Yogi Squat. If you feel like it's going a bit too deep, you can maybe use a block or a book or something just to help give you some extra support. As you place your elbows onto your knees and push them out for a little bit of an extra stretch. And then sitting your hips all the way down to the mat, you're going to kick your legs out to the side, coming into a straddle pose, Legs as wide as you can, keeping your back nice and straight. We're just going to fold forward into a straddle forward fold, going as far as you can. And if maybe you want to go a little bit deeper, you can grab either your ankles or, if you can, grabbing your toes and just pulling your upper body as far forward as you can, maybe even keeping a little bit of a bend in your legs if needed. Just remembering to listen to your body and go as far as you can. You can release your legs if you're holding onto them, coming back up straight. And you can meet me lying on your back with your legs still bent. And you want to bring your heels as close to your bum as you can, to a point where maybe you can even touch them with your hands. And you're going to come into a bridge pose. So keeping your hands at your sides, so you're going to start off by lifting our hips up off the ground, keeping our feet planted, followed by lower back. Then gently, one vertebra at a time, straightening our upper body up, keeping our chin nice and tucked in, as we make a nice line from our knees all the way to our shoulders. You have some choices here. You can either hold it as is, or you can clasp your hands below your lower back for a little bit of a shoulder stretch. And if you want, you can even lift your heels off the mat and come onto your tippy toes. And then releasing your hands, bringing heels back down to mat. I'm just going to gently lower our backs all the way down, bringing hips down to mat. And then we can straighten our legs out, hands by our sides, as we come into the final pose of Shavasana. Just taking some nice deep breaths in, feeling your chest rise and fall as we clear our minds and just relax. And then bring our focus back to our breath, feeling the air suck in through the nose, filling our lungs, and relaxing as it just flows out naturally through the nose or the mouth. Then you can introduce some movement back into our bodies, wiggling our fingers and our toes, moving our ankles and our wrists, and then lift our hands above our head, putting palms together and doing a nice full body stretch like we're waking up in the morning. And then you can either choose to lay lying on your back, or you can turn to your left or right side, whichever feels most comfortable. As we just enjoy these last few minutes of our practice. Then when you're ready, you can either stay lying down, or you can come meet me in a seated position, eyes still closed. as we just take a moment to reflect and meditate, maybe checking in on our bodies, how we're feeling physically, mentally, or emotionally. And with that, we can bring our palms to heart center, taking one last deep breath in together, and then exhaling as we bow to close our practice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you found some benefits. I hope you end up working on whatever it is you need to work on, get better every single day. And once more, I hope to see you guys again next time on the yoga mat.